Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, as promised, we're going to take a look at something new. We got a dual injector from SDG Lurecraft. This is a Do It injector, just one he happened to have for sale, and it looks pretty nice. This is the 4-ounce, I do believe, and it has the blending block with the rod and the little brace that goes in the middle, and then there is the dual injectors. This does not have a locking pin. A lot of people do prefer one with a locking pin, but for the price, I couldn't really pass that up. There is SDG's thing that he sent me. So nice. These are really nice, by the way. And also, give you a little sneak peek for a future video. We got a little bladed jig there and some slick swims with a bladed chatterbait style blade on them. So that'll be something to check out in a future video. We're going to do some fishing content with that as soon as I get the boat back up and running. We managed to tear some of the wrap off of it and bend apart on the trailer, but that's all getting fixed. So, you know, crap happens. So today we're going to do some laminates. We have the 2-inch and 3-inch crappie slayer from Epic Bait Molds right here. And we have two colors. We have a green pumpkin and a ghost pink, what I call it anyways. And generally when you're doing laminates, you're going to want to have colors that are similar in opaqueness, but we're just going to throw all the stuff that I know about laminates out the window, and we're just going to try to laminate these two colors because I think they're going to look really good together. So we're going to do this. If it turns out really good and they do laminate well, I'm probably going to try to shoot them in a worm of some sort, maybe the Nico or something like that. But we have a lot of filming to get through today, so yeah, we're just going to see how this turns out. We're going to heat these up, get these to as close of a temperature as we can. We want to shoot them kind of cold, so probably 310 or so. Get them kind of cooler than normal so that they are thicker and more dense. And then we're going to play with this dual injector and see if we can get some decent laminates out of these crappie slayers. One thing to keep in mind when you are doing these laminates, at least on these Epic molds, is they do have top and bottom engravings on their laminate molds. So we do know that one side's going to be the top, one side's going to be the bottom or the belly side. So if you're clamping up two molds together, like I'm about to do, you're going to want to make sure that you get them facing the same direction. That way you don't get tops on this side and then, bottoms on this side as well, so you don't get really jacked up laminates. But yeah, just a little quick side note, if you are doing it with the Epic molds, make sure you pay attention to that. And yeah, we'll see how these turn out. I haven't shot laminates in quite a long time, so probably going to be a little rusty, but it's a fun process anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot the ghost pink on the top and the green pumpkin on the bottom. So we're just going to make sure that the bottoms are facing the same direction, and then we can line up our blending block like this. So it's going to go this way on this mold. Some molds you have to do it in line. It really just depends how the mold is basically machined. But yeah, so we're going to do them like that and shoot some really cool laminates hopefully. So we're going to wait for that plastic to get hot. You can stick your cups in there together if you have small cups. So that way you're getting an even amount of heat. It just kind of makes it a little easier to get the temperatures even. Okay. Let's see about shooting a laminate here. Okay. I'm actually going to pull this over here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Then let's go to the next one. Okay, hopefully that was even. Felt like I might have had a little more on one side, but we'll just have to see. Then we'll top those off. Pull that out of there. One thing about dual injection, it is a little messy. Okay. All right, now that we shot those, the sprues looked good before I topped them off, so I'm pretty convinced that we got a decent laminate, but we'll just have to wait till these cool off and check it out. Okay, that was a little rusty to say the least, but we got it done. So if you want to clean out your block, chances are it just has a wing nut on it, and then you can pull it apart, and there it kind of gives you the idea of how the plastic mixes. Just goes in each side, then comes out together. So you can generally peel this apart without getting too much of one color on the other side, and you can save this. You may lose a tiny bit, but not too much. Make sure you don't have any opposing flake or anything like that in it before you stick it back in your plastic, but there's that, and then there's that. Then we'll toss this back together. There's probably none. I'll say, how do I lose it? I ain't even been anywhere yet. All right, these should be cool enough now that we can open them. And let's hope that we got good laminates. I think this one turned out okay. This is the one I'm not sure about because I feel like I was pushing more on one side of the injector. So really there's just no way to tell without opening it up. So let's see about pulling this apart. Maybe. Come on, be a good laminate. Okay. We did indeed get a pretty good laminate. I'm going to take these over here in the light and then you can check them out. Okay, here is our laminate. As you can see, they look really good. Got that real good even line there. I mean, look at that. That is exactly what I was going for. Has that really good contrast. I did see we got just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of bleed over right there. And that's the only one I see that's just really affected, but even then, it's still not bad. I mean, the fish are not going to care about that. But yeah, look at that. That is a really good looking laminate. And that is the first laminate I've shot in a very long time. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to hang this up over here, and then we'll open the 3-inch real quick. This is the one I'm not so sure about because I do feel like I was pushing maybe on the pink side a little more. And they're not bad. Tiny bit of bleed over here, but really not a bad looking set of baits. I mean, look at that. That is a good laminate line there too. So yeah, really not bad. Okay, since those worked out so good, we are going to do the 4.6-inch Nico. The sides are identical, so there's no top and bottom engraving on here, but this mold should laminate just fine. So we're going to do it, we're going to use our blending block crossways, not in line. So we're going to do it crossways because that should give us a really good even laminate. So something to keep in mind. Okay. Got our injector. I'm just going to move these a little closer. These are both 310 degrees, give or take a couple degrees, depending on, you know, the measurement tool you're using. Okay, so we're going to pull some of this up. Okay. And like I said, these are the same on both sides, so we don't have to worry about top and bottom. Get this in here. Okay. Heard it fill, so we're just going to hold for just a second. Let any extra plastic get in there that needs to get in there. And I hope these turn out good because I think they're going to look really awesome if they do. Okay. Then I'm just going to try to pick this up. Oh, that sprue looks phenomenal. So, well, I was going to top it off like that, but it appears that that's already full, so we're just going to have to squirt some plastic down in there and make a big mess. But hey, that's part of it. This is definitely messy. You could probably do that with a cup and not be near as messy. So, make sure you get, oh, well, there goes the end of my injector. Watch for that. So, that happens. That's the downside of not having a locking pin. Sometimes it will come off in the cup. I didn't think it would because I wasn't close to the end, but that's part of it. If it does happen, just take your knife and fish it out of there and let it go onto the table, and then you can let it cool off. Messy, no fun, but it does happen. That's the downside of not having a locking pin, and probably my only complaint so far on this Do It injector. Other than that, not that big a deal. It is a little annoying when that happens, but as you get used to it, you can kind of prevent that from happening for the most part. So we will let these cool off, and then we'll do a little demold. Okay, here is a look at how these turned out. The laminate lines turned out really well. Pretty pleased with this. That green pumpkin really complements that ghost paint. And yeah, you can see they all turned out really nice. This mold laminates extremely well. I didn't have any issues with bleed over or anything on this mold. But you know, that was probably just because I wasn't perfect the first time. So really not bad. Really pleased with these. Okay guys, here's a final little look at how these turned out. You can see the laminate lines turned out really nice. Not bad at all. I really like how this color complements one another and just really can't complain. These laminated really good for me not having laminated in a long time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of laminate action. So yeah, overall pretty pleased with the Do It Injector. It's not as good as the Bass Tackle, but for the price, you can't really expect it to be. It's a little more stiff. It's kind of annoying not having the locking pins, but you know, that's something you kind of have to expect with the price, and you kind of know what you're getting. So shout out to SDG Lurecraft. If you haven't checked them out, you might want to check out their channel. They have some really nice bait making stuff, really high quality production value too. So I'll leave a link in the description below to his channel if you would like to check that out. I'll leave a link to the Do It Injector too if you want to pick one up for yourself. I didn't get that one new. I got it secondhand from SDG, so I'm not really sure on the price of it, but I will leave a link in the description below if you want to pick up that same injector. If you want to get any of the molds we use today, you can head on down to the description. There'll be a link to Epic Bait Molds where you can pick up some really awesome molds for yourself. It's all we use here on the channel. Overall, extremely pleased with all my Epic molds. If you want to buy any of these baits, there'll also be a link in the description for that. You can head on down there and pick up some baits, and it helps the channel out, helps us be able to continue to explore laminates and open pores and all kinds of new stuff on the channel. As far as stuff coming up, we have a open pore vert worm from Epic Bait Molds that we're going to be doing an unboxing / review on here pretty quick. And here in a minute, I'm actually going to film an inject and catch. We have a pond behind the bait shop that I believe has some fish in it. So I just put 1,500 flathead minnows in it, kind of get a little bit of a bait source established. They should reproduce. So we got that done. They came on Thursday, dumped them in there. So hopefully they acclimated and all that pretty well. And we'll start kind of stocking some bigger fish in there and give us something to maybe get some underwater footage of and just get to test some baits in a private pond because you can always catch fish in a private pond. So that'll be exciting. We're going to be doing a little bit of fishing content with this SDG stuff that they sent over. So that's going to be really nice to get to do some fishing with that stuff. I definitely think we're going to catch some largemouth on those. So stay tuned for all that. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.